Why do online conversations become angry so quickly? Someone shares an idea. Another person disagrees. A few seconds later, it becomes a fight. People stop listening. They only wait for their turn to speak. This happens in comments. It happens in group chats. It even happens with friends. Sometimes, the problem is not the topic. The problem is how tightly we hold our opinions. Tim Minchin once joked that opinions are common. Everyone has them. But he also said something more important. We should check our beliefs often, not because we are weak, not because we have no values, but because humans are emotional. We like ideas that make us feel safe. We protect thoughts that belong to our side. When someone questions them, it can feel personal. It can feel like an attack. So we defend ourselves, even before we truly think. That is where bias can appear. Bias means a hidden preference that affects how we see things. For example, if you already like one person, you may believe them more easily. If you dislike someone, you may doubt them faster. Bias is not always loud. It can be quiet. It can sit inside your mind and guide your reaction. This is why thinking clearly is hard. Being smart does not always mean being fair. A clever person can still be wrong. A kind person can still misunderstand. A confident person can still miss the point. Real thinking needs space. It needs patience. It needs the courage to ask, what if I am wrong? That question can feel uncomfortable, but it can also make us more honest. Tim Minchin encouraged people to be hard on their own beliefs. That does not mean hating yourself. It means testing your ideas before you protect them. Ask where the idea came from. Ask who taught it to you. Ask what facts support it. Ask what you might be missing. This kind of thinking is not cold. It is careful. And careful thinking helps us see nuance. Nuance means a small but important difference. Many problems are not completely black or white. A person can be wrong about one thing and right about another. An idea can be useful in one situation and harmful in another. A story can have more than one side. But online spaces often remove nuance. They make everything simple. Good or bad. Right or wrong. Us or them. That can feel easy. It can also make us less honest, because real life is usually more mixed. Most people are not only heroes or villains. Most arguments are not solved by one angry sentence. a better conversation begins when we slow down. Instead of asking, "How can I win?" we can ask, "What am I missing?" Instead of saying, "They are stupid," we can ask, "Why do they see it that way?" This does not mean you must agree with everyone. Some ideas are harmful. Some opinions need to be challenged. But challenging an idea is different from refusing to think. A strong belief should be able to face questions. If it falls apart too quickly, maybe it was not very strong. And if it becomes stronger after questions, then you understand it better. So the goal is not to have no opinions. That would be impossible. The goal is to hold them with a little more care, less anger, more honesty, less performance, more listening. Maybe the world does not need more loud opinions. Maybe it needs more people who can pause before speaking. Now, let's look at a few useful words and phrases from today's story. The first word is opinion. An opinion is what you think or believe about something. For example, everyone has a different opinion. The second word is bias. Bias means a hidden preference that affects judgment. For example, we all have some bias. The third word is nuance. Nuance means a small but important difference. For example, this topic has a lot of nuance. The fourth phrase is open-minded. Open-minded means willing to consider new ideas. For example, try to stay open-minded. The last phrase is miss the point. Miss the point means to not understand the main idea. For example, he heard the words, but he missed the point. Maybe the goal is not to win every argument. Maybe it is learning how to think more honestly. And before we ask others to change their minds, we can gently ask ourselves, what am I not seeing yet?